want you to understand something. There is no separation between the spiritual realm and the physical realm. It's called the metaphysical realm. You see, a spiritual realm is like a realm where you can see just the energy, right? That's what we mean when we say a spiritual realm, where we can see entities and energies flying around that you can't normally see. But that doesn't mean that they can't be perceived. You see, a spirit is nothing more than a thought. This is a thought-based reality. What you think is physical all came from a thought first. What you consider to be physical, what you really mean is the expression of that thought. And the spiritual is that thought. So, the spiritual world is the physical world. And the word we will use is metaphysical. Everything that you see that is manifested or that is being expressed, anything that you can feel or experience, all stems from the same one thing. That is a thought. And a spirit is a thought. Now, what we have to ask ourselves is, what frequency of thoughts are we thinking about? What kind of spirits are around us? What kind of spirits are we conjuring up and are we holding in and emitting out? You see, you can vibrate on the frequency of that thought. And when you see somebody come in with a low vibe, you be like, oh, they got a bad spirit. Or you see somebody come up with a high vibe, you be like, dang, I like his spirit. Because the spirit is the thoughts behind the expression. So let us stop saying the physical and the spiritual. It's all physical, it's all spiritual because it's metaphysical. Anything that you can experience is already subjective, coming from the objective. Anything that you are experiencing is an expression of a thought. It's funny, you'd be like, what are you thinking about? And people will be like, nothing. How is that even possible? You are a thought. There's no way you cannot have a thought. There's no way you can't feel something and you can't trace it back to a certain perspective of looking at something, a certain way of thinking. Thoughts. There's no item. Even this black sheet behind me, somebody thought to create that. And each item and ingredient, somebody thought to pick those out. And even deeper, the raw materials that were used to make it all come from thought, because all is mental. And you are thinking yourself into this reality. Nothing that you can see is, number one, separate of you. There is nothing separate of you. Everything is you. You understand? Everything is you. You are like the center of the universe. And you are projecting you. Everything you see around you is your mind. It's your program. And you're experiencing your program. And everything you think that might be outside of you is actually coming from your program. Now, that program can be looked at in biology as your genome, or that program can be looked at as astrological, your astrological energies, your astrological program. Either way, we're looking at the patterns of the way that you think. Your genes control behaviors. And in order for you to do something, you have to think about it first. Right? And your astrological program is controlling how one manipulates energy to project their reality. Your astrological program is how you think, is the way that you perceive life. How you think, all is mental. Hermetic principle number one. Hermetic principle number one, all is mental. That principle alone kills this. Metaphysical. Instead of saying quantum physics, you can say metaphysical, because what we teach, the most honorable melanated mystic, Babaji, teaches us that quantum physics is metaphysics. What you are observing is the only thing in existence. Nothing can exist beyond your observation. The only thing in existence are your thoughts, and you are streaming you. So when you live your life and you walk around, remember, it's you.com. Spirit world, physical world, one and the same. What somebody wears, how somebody looks, what somebody does, all has a spiritual background, which means it comes from a thought. And if you can go back and trace everything back to the thought, you will understand why certain things are happening. And when you look at why certain things happen to you in your life, now you can start to have some purpose. Now you can start to grow. If you can see why something happened, if you can look at the root of things, you'll begin to really learn. You'll begin to really start to master life, master reality. If you see how things move and you understand how things move, you can move yourself in a certain way to get a desired result, even though it's all written. You can at least observe and live out and play out the best part of your program. That is being the programmer. There's nothing better to do in this life other than to be God. Tell me something better to do than be God. Neo in the Matrix is basically God. You are becoming the programmer by seeing the program and understanding the program and understanding the code. So if everything is you and everything is coming from thought and it's all coming from your mind, then if you can study yourself, you will understand your entire reality, your entire universe. Wow, divine knowledge itself. Shouts out to the most honorable melanated mystic, Baba G, for introducing the 5 sciences so that we can understand everything about ourselves. So we can master reality. Master self, master everything else. Remember that. Remember that. This is a wake-up call to those people who separate spiritual and physical. It's metaphysical. Yin and yang. As above, so below. There's no separation. It's just a dance. And as soon as you can understand the patterns of the dance, the sooner you can get in the groove, find your rhythm, and get in tune with the universe. I love myself. Shouts out to the most honorable melanated mystic, Baba G.